You're in Excel and you build a lookup formula and it works perfectly. And you copy it down to the rest of your data and suddenly wrong numbers everywhere. Your report is broken and you have no idea why. Here are the 3 mistakes causing this and the right way to build lookup formulas that actually work. So I'm going to show you the 3 wrong ways people build lookups and then the right way to do it so your formulas are bulletproof. Let's start with the most common mistake. All right, so now that we're in Excel, you can see we have 3 different lookups going right now. 2 are working perfectly and 1 is not working at all. And you can see that is the VLOOKUP function. And the reason why this is breaking is our return data, our employee names, is to the right of our lookup, which is in this case, the employee ID. So what we have here is we have the employee ID and we want to return the employee name in column A. And the issue with the VLOOKUP is it can only look left. It cannot look right. So let's go ahead and build this function and I'll show you where the mistake happens. So let's go ahead and get rid of these NAs real quick. And then I'm going to do equals VLOOKUP. Press tab to lock it in. Our lookup value will be our ID right here. Our table array will be all of our data. Our column index number will be number 1. And then our range lookup will be false for an exact match. We'll press parentheses to lock it in. And you can see that we return NA. Drop it low, it's all going to be the same. Unfortunately that we're returning the incorrect data. If we do XLOOKUP, we can see that we are returning the correct data. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press equals XLOOKUP, press tab to lock it in, and then we're gonna go find this ID with this lookup array. And I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I'm gonna press F4 to lock in those cell ranges, press comma again for our return array, which will be our employee name. Select all of our data right there, press F4 to lock it again, close with parentheses and press enter, and then you can see we return our correct data. And then we'll double click to drop it low. And then you see we have all of our lookups looking perfectly. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with our index match. So I'm gonna do equals index, press tab. And then for index, I wanna select our return array. So that'd be our employee name. Again, F4 to lock it in. And then type in match, press tab to lock it in. And then we'll select our ID for our lookup value. We'll press comma. Our lookup array will be our array of employee IDs right here. Press F4 to lock it in. And we'll press comma, and then we're going to select 0 for an exact match, double parentheses to lock it in, and then excellent, you see we return the same answer. We'll go ahead and double click and drop it low. And just like that, everything works perfectly. If you find this video helpful, I have a pinned comment down below with this file specifically. So go ahead and follow the link down below and you can follow along with a downloadable file. All right, so we're going on to our second mistake, and that is not locking our cells when we create the lookup formulas. So as you can see here, I have an issue with our second table in column D to F. And I created a lookup formula, but as soon as I dragged it down, I got a whole bunch of errors. Whereas if I look in column H's table, I see that I get all the correct results. So when we create these formulas, we really want to make sure that we're locking our cells when we create these formulas. So let's go ahead and show you the wrong way to do it real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete these formulas and get rid of our conditional formatting. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press equals VLOOKUP. Our lookup value will be the iPhone 15 Pro. I'll select our table array right over here. And then I want to return the price. So I'm gonna select number 2 for our second column. And then we want to make sure that we have an exact match, press enter. Great, we return the price of our iPhone 15 Pro. However, when I drop it low, I'm gonna get all these errors. And the reason being is we're shifting our lookup every time we pull down that formula. So instead, let's go ahead and hide this real quick. So instead, what we want to do is if we use the VLOOKUP, we'll go ahead and select our lookup value again, press comma. We'll select the same table array, but this time we're gonna press F4 to lock our cells. And then we'll press comma. And then once again, we're selecting our second column. And then we'll do false because we want to return the exact value. And then we'll press parentheses and lock it in. And great, you see that we return the same price for the iPhone 15 Pro, but then we receive all the same pricing for all of our other lookup products. Press F2. And then you see on the bottom selection for the MacBook Air, our lookup reference is staying exactly where it's supposed to be because we're locking in those cells. Now, let's say I wanted to lock our lookup formula as well. You can do that. I can select this and then press F4 and I can drop it low. And you can see that we return all the same numbers because we're still looking at that top item. However, what we can also do is we can press F4 multiple times. And if I press it a second time, I'm gonna lock in column 6. Whereas if I press it one more time, I'm gonna lock in only column H. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna press enter and then drop it low. And now you see our lookups are correct because we're locking in column H. And no matter what I do, let's go and just pull this over real quick. I just updated the formula in cell J10. You see that it's still looking at the MacBook Air and our same reference table, but I'm returning the same amount, which is awesome. So I can go ahead and drag this up, and then you see we have all the same things as what our initial lookup formula was looking at. All right, quick timeout. If you're tired of Excel formulas breaking for mysterious reasons, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I post tutorials like this every week, so you can stop Googling the same problems over and over. All right, and for our last example, let me show you one real world example, and this is with invoice matching. So as you can see here, I have our item list, our product code, our quantity, but then I need to pull in our unit price, our category, and the supplier. So that way I can pull in the final invoice. And as you can see over in column J, I have our product database. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clear out all these functions real quick. And then for unit price equals XLOOKUP, our lookup value would be our product code right here. And remember, we're gonna press F4 3 different times to lock in that column. We'll press comma, and then we're gonna select our lookup array of our product codes right here. And then we'll press comma to move on to our return array. And this is where we enter in the HStack function. And I'm gonna select our price, comma, our category, comma, and then our supplier, and close that function with the parentheses, and press comma to move on to if not found. And then I'll just in quotation say no product, close those quotations, and then close our function with parentheses and press enter. And excellent, just like that, everything auto populates for us. I can double click or drag this down automatically, and you see we have all of our data filled in automatically. This was one function to fulfill a whole table of data. And this is why the XLOOKUP is so powerful, because a VLOOKUP can't function like this in Excel. The XLOOKUP with the HStack completes all of our lookup functions for us almost instantaneously. But the point is, use the right tool, lock your references, handle the errors the correct way, and your lookups will be bulletproof moving forward. Look, lookup functions are some of the most useful formulas in Excel, but only if you build them incorrectly. So if you want more Excel tutorials like this, subscribe. I post new videos every week, and if you're struggling with index match specifically, check out the video on your screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.